Hey guys, welcome back to Invested. Thanks for checking out and subscribing. I'm just reading a post and good question. If commercial real estate is at risk of a major loss in value at end of 2025, why are sellers so reluctant to sell right now? It's a very good question, and a lot of people have this questions, private equities to mom and pop. And unfortunately, we're projecting and looking at the future. I don't know what's going to be for me tomorrow, right? Let alone in 2025. So unlike stocks or a lot of different effective investment that's highly liquid, such as a stock market or fixed income, real estate is a very illiquid asset. So what that really means is it takes long duration to kind of really see the effects of how the market condition will implement into the commercial real estate asset class, right? So there's multiple reasons why someone wouldn't want to sell today versus later if you think that, overall market's going to go down in 2025. Because there's a lot of analysts think, 2025 will be the start of the expansion period. So there's no real clear answer on why someone wouldn't sell today versus later. But I'll kind of give you a general idea with some of the reasons why people wouldn't sell today. Because if you look at a lot of my videos, we talk about risk reward, also a lot of different asset classes and type of leases, right? So those are all accumulated into one aspect is this. If you have a property today and it's 100% occupied with great tenants, and the great tenants are sound because they have great credit. I mean, they may be hurting a little bit like any other businesses, right? But just using Target as an example or, Dollar General. Yeah, you see the reports coming out. There's a lot of theft. They're losing a lot of money. But do you see Target going out of business in 2025? No, I think they're going to be far past that before anything happens, right? Or CVS. Right? Or even Starbucks. So you got to understand, if you have these type of tenants in your building and they are going to be paying the rent on time, giving you triple nets or giving you reimbursable on your expenses, and every year they have rent escalation. So if you have a rent escalation at 3% or even 2% today, and next year you have another rent escalation in 2024 and 25. So even if the interest rate still stays elevated, you're still going to have a higher NOI number in 2025. And let's say the cap rates decompress, let's say 7% today. And let's say in a couple of years it stays 7%. Well, the value of your property is much higher in 2 years than today. Just based on the basic math of your NOI being higher, which is your net operating income, divided by the cap rate, right? So that's another reason why you wouldn't do that. Because if you can hold your properties, in some time, it's not when, it's if, it's when. The market contracts down and they start the expansion period, there's going to be growth. Interest rates will come down and you're going to get a higher value for your property. So people are holding that through now. But if you have a building that's 50% occupied, you're undercapitalized, and you think your property is worth 5 cap and the market's telling you it's worth 8 cap, look, are you going to be in worse situation in 2025? Yes. Why? Because you're not going to be able to mark your rents because you can't get the tenants because you're undercapitalized. You're not going to be able to do the tenant improvements. You're not going to be able to do CapEx. So then you really have to look at your risk reward and see what's best situation for you to get out today at 8 cap and recycle that money into a different asset class or different investment that might be a little bit smaller or a little bit more stable or better vintage. Then you'll be situated better in 2025 to take advantage of the expansion. Personally, for me, we're going to have recession, and people talk about recession and all that. I'm not going to go into it. You're going to have a slowdown in the market economy. That's a fact. People just don't have money. It's getting harder to get jobs to a certain degree. It's harder to live. Interest rates are high. Look at the used car market. All these different things are affecting you. So then after the 2024 election, regardless if it's a Democrat, if it's a Republican, they're all politicians. At the end of the day, do they really care about you? I don't think so. But people coming in, regardless if it's Democrat or Republican, they got to see the economy as one of the biggest issues for their re-election in 2028. So what do? They start trying to expand the economy. So then what they're going to do is start printing less, start dropping the interest rate, spur of growth, employment, and all that stuff. So I personally think 2025, as they start the new cycle in the presidency and new administration, I think they're going to see that in 2025 to 2026, they start implementing expansion growth again. Then you in 2026 or 7, you're going to be okay, because we think at that point it might be a good starting point of growth within your real estate assets. So that's what some people are banking on. So, other videos I kind of mentioned is you never want to be in a position with no option. You never want to be forced to do something else. So people who are not selling today, they might have structured pretty long-term debt that expires beyond 2025 at 3.5%, 4%. So they're going to be able to float and carry that property. Maybe they didn't get too aggressive and took 80%, 70% leverage, or even 65. Maybe they took a moderate 50% leverage, and they're doing really well maintaining the tenant mixes. Maybe they're not getting the best fair market rents, but they're working with their tenants to ensure that they're still in business and they are able to make their rents. If you're doing all those right things, you're going to be in better situation in 2025. So those people are not selling today because those could be the reasons. Or it could be the opposite. They're just stupid. They think their property is beautiful and worth more than what it is. And they're going to come to realize it very soon, within the next 6 months to 8 months, or even 12, that they should have sold today versus later. So those are going to be the two buckets of individuals or investor owners. If you found this content helpful, please like, subscribe, and add comments. Thank you very much.